Now, we all know how women hate when men ghost them in dating, right? It's a big issue to people. But what about when men ghost their families? How many of you grew up in a house where the father was present, but he wasn't really there?
But he was absent.
He was absent. He was absent. So tonight we're talking about The Walking Dead, emotionally absent husbands and fathers. You don't want to miss it. Stick around. Let's get into it. Hey, what's going on, good people? Welcome back to Man Talk Mondays. It's your boy, Derek, the Thought Engineer, here with my man, comedian John Yogi. How you feeling, man?
Man, I am good. I'm ready. This should be a great one tonight, man. Ready to get in, man. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, let me just remind everybody, this is Man Talk Mondays. It's an open forum where we give you the rational realities of relationships, but we're coming from a man's perspective. Keep in mind, we want everybody to participate in the conversation. It's not just for men, right? So make sure you hop in them comments. Let us know what's on your mind, how you feel about what we're talking about, right? But we ain't gonna hold nothing up. We're gonna get right to what we got tonight. The Walking Dead, emotionally absent husbands and fathers. Now, I didn't grow up. My father was absent.
Time out. We didn't go over this in the pre.
he was absent.
He was absent.
But I hear people say sometimes that stuff in the house, he might as well not have been there. They had a father who was in the house, but he wasn't engaged in what was going on in the house. And so, like I say, what's the use? Why are you here, partner?
Well, my father was there, but he left to get some cools, and I hadn't seen him since. So I think that will make him absent as well, sir. That'll make him absent as well. So I don't really, I'm really kind of wondering, would it be better to have them not in the house if they're not going to be, if they're going to be absent, or would you rather them just be absent altogether? I guess which one would be better?
Because they say, households where the father is in the home, the households tend to do a whole lot better. The kids grow up to be more well adjusted and all of that. Interesting statistic. Of all the Super Bowls, how many? 52, 50? How many Super Bowls?
56, I think. 57.
57 Super Bowls. All the Super Bowls.
You say 52?
I lost.
It's 50 something.
I lost track after 50.
Okay, it's 50 something. Okay.
Out of all the Super Bowls, all of the quarterbacks that won the Super Bowl, what they all had in common. You know what they all had in common?
Mama and daddy.
They had a present father.
Really?
Yep. Well,
because normally though, let me park right here. Normally, when the dad's not there, they put them on defensive line. Normally, they need those guys to be killers.
I heard Deion say that. Heard Deion say that he needs some hungry people.
Yeah, because I think it takes a different temperament to be leader of men. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you making me thinking about. I hadn't thought about that. I wasn't thinking about
it blew me away when I heard it. Yeah. I was like, that's one thing. All the quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls in the NFL, all of them had fathers. That was
we had on the football team, my high school football team, the only one of us that went pro, and it was a bunch of talent on the team. The only one of us that went pro was the guy whose dad was at practice every day.
Really?
That's the only one that went pro.
Really?
Sure did. It's okay.
But is it enough for them to just be in the home, or is it the level of engagement that the father, or participation in the home that the father has with the whole family, with his wife, with the kids? Is that a factor? Because can they be in the home and still the impact not be felt, like the kids still end up a mess and everything?
Yes, because the woman casts a shadow sometimes that can be bigger than the father.
Oh, wow.
So as I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking the partnership or the team has to be where I'm going to come. This is my lane and this is your lane, and you work your lane and I'm going to work my lane. And then if at any point your lane you come over in my lane and you get so big to where now I'm being quiet and I'm just kind of letting you do you, and you all over in my lane, the whole family suffers because of that.
And that's the question I wanted to kind of lead off with. What does it look like when men ghost their families? They're in the home, but they're not actually present.
Well, when mom is running it, shit, there are, the examples are just glaring. If she had football practice with the boys, she don't want her baby to get hit. Or one more point, she don't like the way he getting talked to. Like there's not a dad at home. There are things that women just don't understand, that they're not meant to be a part of, that they engulf themselves in. PTAs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it needs to be mother and father, because contrary to what people think, dad brings balance to mom.
Wow.
And that's
balance out the home, basically what you're saying.
Absolutely.
So when a father is there but absent, it looks like mama is dominating the house.
Because she is. And the crazy thing about it is what I've noticed, that my wife doesn't dominate the house, but I have to fight for her not to. I have to intentionally be like, stop. No, I got gone now. Because I've noticed that she'll try to pick and choose what she wants me in and what she don't want me in. And most of the time, it's when something is too hurtful. I don't want to go. I don't want to talk to these people. I don't want to talk to them. Hey, tell them this, tell them that. And you got.
So the husband is the husband. If he's just a tool.
Oh, very much so.
In the house.
Yeah, literally.
He's just a means of accomplishing certain tasks and things of that nature, right?
And when I say, and I want this to be, I don't want to be taken out of context, but when I say you have to fight to keep your pants in your place in your house, you do, because you should. Because man, I just don't think we understand how important it is. And oftentimes we don't realize what we've fallen into as far as giving our pants up to the woman until we naked somewhere and trying to figure out how we got here. Why is it that the kids don't respect me? Why, when I tell my kids something, they more concerned about what mom is saying than what I'm saying? And that's what I deal with in my house. If I say something,
mama first.
One time I was with my son and we were in CC's Pizza, some little cheap pizza place. And I do that so I can give back, right? That's why I go CC's. So we were in CC's, and I remember telling him, I said, hey, man, listen, let's get some pizza, grab some desserts, and we're going to be out here. He said, okay. So we grab pizza, piles it up on his plate. All right, he eats them.
Yeah.
And he gets the dessert, and he gets one. And I said, hey, man, you can have as much dessert as you want. And he looked at me as if to say, listen, I appreciate you, and I applaud you. But mama said I can only get one. And I was like, but mama ain't here. And he looked at me as if to say, yeah, but she always has a way to find out. She always finds out everything. And he didn't. And when I tell you, he didn't budge. And it's funny because that was the beginning, because my wife, under the underlying theme in my house is my wife controls the house. Everybody wants to, we don't want to hear from mama.
And that's an interesting dynamic, because I'm thinking about the father, just the impact. I mean, do the kids feel, because there's a sense of protection that father said, is that protection still felt when dad is there, but he's not engaged with the family?
I don't think it is, because if he's not engaged with the family, then stuff is coming in the house. I never forget one of the biggest ways that I always felt that I was needed when it came to my daughter. When my daughter was growing up, when guys came to the house, I was the dog at the door barking. Ruh, what you want, what you doing here, get out of here, bye, don't make me kill you.
Yeah.
Well, mom can't do that. As a matter of fact, when they see mom, All you gotta do is throw mom a couple of compliments. Like, I see where she get her beauty from. What?
Right.
Not me. You can't compliment me enough.
Right.
When you come and trying to get my daughter.
No, I feel you on that. And I think for households where dad is present, he's there, his presence is felt. It's more than just guarding the house, like you said, old yellow on the porch, barking at anybody to come up. What about the responsibilities of a man being in the house? What are the responsibilities? We're talking about when he's absent, what's missing, but what does a man provide that people would understand what they're missing?
He provides structure to the house.
Structure, okay.
He keeps everything in order. He keeps when problems arise, he shows the house how we deal with problems. He said, and I didn't realize this, but he sets the tone. Because what I allow in the house is generally what goes on in the house. It's what I allow to come in, it overtakes the house. Okay.
Great point. So if dad is absent, he's present, but he's absent, then the things that get allowed in the home.
Yes.
Because is it the mom's responsibility or the dad's responsibility to guard what's coming in? Because moms are typically on the case. They going through the kids' stuff. They checking phones. Dad ain't really necessarily doing it, is it?
Well, no, dad's not doing it. But mom shouldn't be doing anything that daddy hadn't allowed. You're not gonna see my wife doing anything that I hadn't okayed.
Okay.
Because oftentimes when my wife interacts with my sons, I'm often saying, honey, stop this. You are not that judge, and stop this right here. Don't do this. Do that.
So a mother without a father there has a tendency to be overbearing.
What? What? Well, I'm gonna let you ask me that one more time, and I'm gonna try to sit here and be quiet. Yeah, hell yeah. Listen, let me tell you something. You don't understand what it means not to have somebody there to pull your coattail. Y'all don't understand. Think about this, women. How many times are you just off the rail and your husband say, babe, that's enough. That's enough. You good. Because I will listen. I know you'll get them. I know. It means, listen to me. And I'm not telling you this because I heard this. Yeah. I'm telling you because I know it means something to have somebody there to pull your coattail, or more importantly, to cover you. Oh. Did you hear that?
I heard that. Did y'all hear that? He said to have somebody to cover you. Because I think that's the argument that a lot of women have been left uncovered for so long that they've taken on this I'm masculine and
I don't need nobody
and all of this type of stuff, which that rhetoric is destroying families. But just that feeling of being uncovered, you have to come up with some way to kind of cover yourself.
And when the kids grow up, normally when they hadn't been covered, when dad has been in the house and hadn't been doing like he's supposed to do, the respect, he don't really get the respect from the kids like he's supposed to. The kids generally would get old enough and call you a buster or call you something because you hadn't been on the job like you're supposed to. You've been there, but you had been parenting or hadn't been a part of it. And this the crazy thing about parenting with kids. Do you always feel like it? Of course you don't. Of course you don't.
Yeah.
You signed up for that job.
Yeah.
When you was in that time, ooh, baby, I think I love you. You signed up for the listen, and I get it. Parenting.
I wish more people understood.
Dude, it's tough. It is tough parenting.
Sex is a contract.
Oh my God. You think it ain't?
It's a contract.
If you knew what was on the other end of that sex, you get up right now and say, you know what? I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna even do this with you.
And no matter how many times you tell people that this is part of the deal. You signed up for it when you lay down. That's a contract.
You start having kids bringing kids into it and parenting them. You know, it's what's really crazy is me and my wife are the most compatible people that I can think of. But when it comes to the kids, don't nothing make us argue like the kids.
Wow.
You don't hear me. I don't think.
Wow. Yeah.
30. We've been married 34 years in April, and we can get 99.9% of the stuff we talk about. We are in full agreement about. But when it comes to them kids,
because I would think, and this is where that unequally yoked becomes a problem, because I would think both parents are trying to get their values into the kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if their values are competing,
they value their way though.
Okay.
That's generally the problem. I think we want the same things, but we want it different ways.
Okay. So the goals are agreed upon, but how to reach the goals?
Oh, bro, yes. She beats you over the head with the stick, and I am whoa. There's a process. Let's bring God, because God is gonna. Let's pray about this, dude. I pray about it. Pray about it.
What do you think? Women don't want to pray about?
Oh my God, man, do this again. We have to lead the homes from the front door to the back door.
From the front door to the back door. So a absent father, the front door and the back door just wide open.
Oh, dude.
I mean a present but absent father.
Yes, you gotta leave from the front to the back, and both doors have to be closed, and you got to watch the front as well as the back. Cause it's just as the back door, the kid, dude, it is such a fight trying to control what goes on in the house with the kids when you're not their biggest influence. You say, well, how? How can you not be? Because when they leave them doors in the morning to school, what they hear on the bus, what they hear from their friends, there's a much bigger impact than what you were thinking was. So there has to be influence when it comes to the house. Because if not, you're gonna look up and you say, well, how we get in the house? Well, they came in, they brought it in the backpacks, and they was in the room. It just, dude, you could be on guard and stuff get by you.
Wow. So and I'm wondering, is the physical guard is one thing, you know, guarding against things, but a lot of people, a guard is really what you put in the kids. You know, I stayed out a lot of stuff because of my mama, what she put in me. Now she couldn't always watch what I was doing.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying? Her words were with me everywhere I went. Especially when she said, boy, whatever you do, I'm gonna find out.
Well, it's more important.
It kept me from a lot of stuff too.
It's more important that I think that's the most important thing, man, what you put in them. Because normally what you put in them is the stuff that'll sustain you, that'll keep you safe and keep you out of trouble.
So any women, any wives, any children that's listening, if you had a father that was present but absent, how did that feel? How did that feel for you? You know, he was physically there, but emotionally was not there. And any men that's watching, any men that's listening, have you ever realized that you were ghosting your family? Did you ever have a moment where you're like, you know what? I'm probably not as involved. What was going on that made you realize that? If you can drop it in the comments, let us know what was happening that made you realize that, hey, I might need to show up a little bit more.
Because I want to say, I was getting calls. I started staying after work. There was the stress with the kids was happening more and more. And rather than me engaging more, I start pulling back more.
Oh wow.
And I would stay at work longer and longer because I didn't feel like, oh, this is a lot, man. This is a lot.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like dealing with it. And one of the things I noticed, the more I pull back, the worse things got. Because with most family issues, man, dude, it's just so much easier having somebody to be in, to know that they in that thing with you.
Yeah.
It's crazy when you look up in that foxhole, man, and you in it by yourself.
Wow.
And somebody that's supposed to be in there, that's supposed to have your back, that's supposed to be right up against you, is nowhere to be found. So
you got the person there, but somebody sleeping on the job, and you gotta shoulder all of the responsibility by yourself.
And that's ultimately how mothers raise their daughters to do some of the things, because their daughter has grown up seeing their mothers in those foxholes fighting by themselves.
Yeah. We're talking about the walking dead, emotionally absent husbands and fathers, what we're talking about right now. So how do we get here? What leads to fathers and husbands being physically there but emotionally absent? What are some factors that lead to that? How do men become the silent fixture in the corner?
Well, I want to say we don't always feel. One thing I've noticed, man, I want peace, and I don't often fight as much as I should. I don't feel like fighting all the time. Hey, can we just get along? Why I gotta fight you to do this? Why we gotta fight to do that? And I think most men, I want to say most men are probably like me. If I gotta fight you too much on it, go ahead, you can win. You got it. But
you don't feel like the fight.
When I do that, the house loses. Not just me.
So what makes a man not want to take on that fight?
See, let me this, and we talk about this often, but let me say this. Oftentimes when we get married, men don't have a clue. We're trying to figure this thing out as we go, and we're not often given the grace to figure it out as we need to.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So while we're trying to figure it out, you looking at me and you're judging every answer that I give on the test, and you grading to see which ones I get wrong. So either you can say he don't know what he's doing, or you can say, see, I know I knew better than him and he won't listen to me. And oftentimes, and I tell my wife this all the time, if I'm doing something that you don't think I should be doing, can you pray for me?
Oh, wow.
Pray that I get it, or pray that God gives me the unction to hear you out if I'm not doing what you're saying. But you know why you can't pray for me? Because you're too busy trying to tell me what I should be doing.
Okay.
When this thing is new to both of us, it's just like this. No woman gets married and knows how to be the perfect wife. If I sat up at my desk, I would then grab a pen and paper and was judging you by everything you did, you would ultimately fail, because listen, and this is the thing. Every woman has to adjust to what's needed in her house, like the man does.
Okay.
There's no, well, do this, baby, do that. No. Just like with my daughter. My daughter got married last weekend. When you get married, things that are going to work in your house, that are not going to work in our house. So everybody has to adjust to what's going to be best for their house, and they have to be given the grace to.
Okay. And I tell people, grace is the space to get it right. It's the space you need to get it right. It's all grace is. It's the space to get it right. It's another opportunity, another chance after you fail. But if all you do is being reminded of your failures, then what you do is stop trying.
Because I think if men will say, hey, listen, I don't know, and I'm trying to figure this out. We either lying, making you think that we do and we have all the answers. Because I know it's funny, when I talk to my wife sometimes, she will ask the question and immediately listen to me now, immediately look for me for the answer. And I am thinking to myself, hell, I don't know.
Do you feel like you can just say that? You can just say, I don't know. Is there pressure to know?
There's pressure to know because in that moment, she's expecting me to know something in that moment. And I have to either, well, let me think about it, and we'll talk back about it a little later. Let me meditate on it, and then we'll get back. Because most of the time I'm like, Lord, please, you gotta help me, because I don't have a clue.
And I'll say this for wives, especially for mothers, your critique has to be counterbalanced with some kind of praise, with some kind of, baby doing a good job, or something. It can't be critique and, reminding of the shortcomings all the time. So if you are prone to, because women ain't got no problem. Wives, mothers have no problem telling you what you did wrong. They don't have a problem with it. But can you counteract that with some, hey, when when I got it right, let's talk about that too. Let's because otherwise all these hearing is, you don't get it done. You don't do it right.
Yeah, and I think for the most part, man, it just seems that if we understand, if we give each other the grace to understand that, hey, listen, together there ain't nothing that we can't do. Together there ain't nothing we can't do, and you got to trust me with leading the company, because this is the thing. I know where my strengths are in our relationships, and I know where my wife's are, but she has to trust me to say, hey, honey, well, if you better with the finances, then you do that. Yeah, because the worst thing I can do is be in the house and let her do whatever she wants to do with the finances, and I don't say nothing. Yeah. Now we got Amazon bags coming, and we don't close down Amazon. We have officially closed down Amazon because everything is coming. Every now and then,
set up a hub across the street.
Every now and then, I gotta say, hey, that's probably enough. You think? Yeah, I can't get in the room, so I think it is.
Wow. So husbands not being listened to can lead to them being present but absent.
Yeah. And you got to act like you want them in it. If your mothering is dominating the house to where people can't see the dad, then you might need to pull back some.
And see, that's the interesting thing. Is there a pullback? Is there any level of pullback, or does the man have to posture himself and say no? Or no more, or you're right. Things will change from this point forward.
You're absolutely right with that. The man has to know the woman whether or not there is a pullback or not. And most of the time, when people think they're doing what's best for the house, and because they think they're doing what's best for the house, the woman is not going to pull back because she don't think she's doing anything wrong.
That justification is motivation. For the behavior.
Yeah, that part. Until you reach back, no.
And I guess is that idea that he's not getting it done, is it really coming from what's happening in the marriage? Is it a preconceived idea that was planted before that you are now, this becomes the lens that you're seeing him through, to the point to where no matter what he does, can he get it right?
Well, let me say this. All it takes is for you to do it twice. All it takes is for you not to step up the way she think you should step up twice. The first time she gonna say, all right. But if he do that again, I'm gonna be all over that. So the next time when it happens, she in it. Oh, well, I talked to him. I said this, I said that, I'm saying this. Like, whoa, what you doing? I'm here because it's funny. Oftentimes my wife was so used to seeing her mom the way her mom run the house. She was trying to run our house the same way. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Difference between the houses. I'm here.
Yeah. And it might be important to point out why you said what you just said. What was the instance with mama? What was the instance with the household?
Well, mama was by herself. Mama was by herself in the house. And oftentimes through their toughest times, my wife remember what it was like in their house. And so to keep our house from being like that house, I'm gonna do this. And I have to often stop and say, whoa, but you gotta remember.
So you gotta admit mama didn't get it right?
This how cold we do it. We're not gonna even talk about mama. I'm so when it comes down to it, that if you ever want to be jumped on in the house, bring up what mama did or what mama did.
Yeah, we talked about that a few weeks ago. We had this. Mamas ain't always right. That pedestal that we put them on, that they a lot of them.
How about this? Wait,
that don't necessarily.
Mama the reason why dad ain't in the house.
Or he's there, but he's not.
Because he don't want to fight with her.
He don't want to fight. But that's what I'm saying. Him not wanting to fight, does he have to fight that notion of let me just fade to the black? Or should he fight the whole? But how far should he be willing to go
that's the question.
in the fight?
That's the
How
question.
far should he be willing to go in the fight, though?
See, because the right answer is he needs to fight as much as he has to gain control of the house. That's the correct answer.
Okay.
But that's not the correct answer. Why do I have to fight you? Why do I have to fight you to take control of what's ours and then what I should be doing anyway?
Yeah. Now you're speaking to a real deep issue, a real deep problem that this is where some counseling should be involved or something because there's some deep-seated stuff there that needs to be dealt with. Because if I gotta fight you to the point to where things could potentially get violent, just to then,
I'm gonna leave.
Right. Last show we talked about, he said, you got 4 choices, right? You said what? Do nothing. You said go to counseling.
Try to talk about it.
Or cheat.
And why? And how often do men look for the comfort in another woman, and why? It's because she's agreeable.
And the people don't understand. There is I don't even know if it's unspoken, but there is a power struggle in the house. There's a power struggle in the house. And typically the power struggle is between the husband and the wife. But I think what happens is the enemy it drops this thing in there, knowing how you're going to react. And if somebody doesn't take a step back and say, hold up. What are we doing here? Because while we at each other, the whole house is suffering. Wasting away. It's suffering.
Yes.
So how can we get on the same team, on the same page to get this thing back where it needs to be?
It's funny because I have to give my wife a lot of flack at home, but she really tries. She really, if I'm pulling something as stubborn as we are, if I tell her, hey, this is what's going on, this is what we need to do, she tries to embrace it with everything in her. But man, but it still don't make it easy. It still don't make it easy. You trying to get it right.
Some just hit me. Because we're talking about how men fade to the black in the family, to where they're physically present, but they're absent. What role does a man giving up on his passion and his dream play in him fading out in the house?
I think it plays, and this is the thing. It plays a really big part because the woman has a role to play with him pursuing that. She can either build him up to be the president or the trash man.
Wow.
In which nothing wrong with trash man, but you much rather brag about your husband being the president than you would being on the back of the trash man.
Right.
So man, really good question though, because I think they're combined. I think if you are pushing me and helping me become the best version of me, and I think that ultimately will help me become the best version.
And what about the woman that says, why I got to push you to be great? Why can't you just be great? Why I got to be the one to? Why is that important for a man?
It sounds so funny to hear you say it.
Because I hear it now. I hear it now.
So funny.
We got to do everything already. And so why I got to do all this extra just to make you great? To make you feel like a man.
Because I'm not becoming great for me.
Oh.
I'm becoming great for we. Because there's not a stage that I have been on that my wife hadn't been right there with me, soaking it up like she was out there telling jokes. I have been all over the country, and Cheryl has been right there with me, and she has enjoyed it just as much as I have. So I don't do nothing. I don't do that for me. I do that for we. Everything I do is for we. Yeah. Everything when I'm watching TV, I am considering we. Everything I do, I consider we in it. Whereas I'm not even sure what you.
So you don't keep watching the Netflix series without it when y'all started watching it.
Oh well,
Yeah.
I'm so that's funny. I'm so serious. When you are the head of something, you're constantly thinking about what can I do? What can we do to get this better?
Because I'm thinking about how does that confidence translate to the home if a man has a passion, he has a dream, something that he's working on, something how does it translate to the home?
The family benefits from it. Everybody benefits from dad being on top. Okay, for example.
Let me be clear on the type of man that shows up in the home. I know how the benefits as far as the achievements and everything, how they benefit the home, but what does it do as far as that man being present, the presence of that man in the home, if he has that that dream, that passion that he's actively working on?
I think the first thing you will see in a home where the man is doing all he needs, you'll see structure. You'll see structure in a way to where wow, this is what we do every day. This is what we get up. We get up in the morning. I heard somebody say this. He said, "What I do is I have my son to get up and make his bed in the morning." Seemed like a simple enough thing, but what it did, it taught habits. It taught him about habits. Now he don't get up out of bed without making his bed up.
Okay,
simple thing.
Yeah,
teach him, and I think that's what happens when you have men in the house and they bring structure.
Yeah,
every house needs structure. And they need discipline in every house. Yeah. And I think the house, what's funny? You can tell the houses that have structure and discipline in them.
Yeah.
You can tell the houses because everybody don't normally great people come out of those houses.
They do.
And that's how you can tell if dad is attached in that house.
Yeah.
Because normally you'll see him with the kids. You will see him at practices. You will see him involved in the kids' lives. You'll see him attempting to do homework. I remember I wouldn't advise that for every dad because I had tried to it's like, where is your mama? Is your mama sick? Because your dad is about to fail everybody.
Yeah.
But I think it leaves clues. How about that?
Yeah.
When dad is present in the house, it leaves clues all over the house for everybody.
And I remember talking to my father-in-law one time, and he was talking about how, I don't know what it was, but he finally said like he woke up and realized like he had 3 daughters in the house. He's like, I gotta be there. I gotta be. So he made sure he showed up for all the games. They were all in sports. He make sure he showed up for all the games, the track meets, and all this type of stuff. He made sure he was there. He was present.
Because if he don't, now you got to wrestle with some joker for a heart. Because you allowed him to come in and steal a heart while you was making money.
Yeah. Yeah. And knowing my wife and my sisters-in-law, that gave them a mental checklist or litmus test for any guy that showed up. They would entertain, but ultimately it came down to what daddy was going to be okay with.
Yeah. And he got to be there for that. Yeah. He had to be present for that.
And think about how much you avoid with having that, having that standard, that mental standard there.
I remember when I would go into a girl's house and I would see her dad is sitting there looking at me like I was looking at him. I knew, oh boy, this might be kind of tough getting there.
Yeah.
Because you already know, because he's present. You see when he see you see him, that means he's present.
Right. Yeah. And he want to sit down and talk to you.
Oh, you think you don't?
Hey, I got to go to the store. Won't you come ride with me?
Right. Yeah.
I want to go.
Yeah, exactly.
What you doing? Hey, but a kid whose intentions are good, or at least had a father, and they'll ride. They'll, you know what I'm saying?
Either that or tell the kid, don't make me go back to jail.
And you be like, man, boy, you come. They came to the, you know what I'm saying? Came to the door. I was like, yeah, man.
No, hey, man, don't make me go back to jail.
So what about, because not to harp on this too much, because this idea that the man's way is not the right way, because I've seen conflict with mothers and fathers in the home to where women will complain about, I got to do everything. But the reason they got to do everything is because people have to be doing it their way for them to be doing it right. It's not about just getting it done. It's about you got to do it my way. And so when it comes to especially dealing with the kids, men don't deal with kids the same way women do.
Completely different, almost.
But if you got to be standing over him saying, no, don't do it that way.
Well, I think it's like this. I'm simplifying it a lot. My wife likes towels folded a certain way. So the question now is, so are you willing to fold all the towels?
Yes.
Every time?
Every time.
Well, then you have to be willing to put up with the way I fold them in.
Yeah. Because you don't do it right turns into I gotta do everything.
Yes.
And now I throw my cape and my cross on and go out and tell everybody, I don't get no help nowhere.
Like I do everything.
Right. So men fade that way. But what about the work? What about work pressure? Does work pressure make men? Can it create silence in the home?
Well, I think it can. It just depends on what the pressure is from the house toward work. If you carrying the house, if you carrying the house, and it's more, I forget. I was on the phone. This guy called me. He was trying to sell me something, and when I said no, he started talking to me about his wife at home. He didn't make that much money. His wife was at home with the kids, and it was really stressing him out because he was trying to make so much money, and it was coming up short, and it was really stressful for him.
Wow.
Well, I think oftentimes in marriage we don't pay attention to the things that are right in front of us. He was crying out to me that man, I'm having the toughest time. I'm killing myself trying to do this, and I'm not succeeding. I'm like, well, won't you tell somebody that care? Talk to your wife.
Is it that you don't see it, or you see it and you like, there's an avoidance? You like, man, I don't feel like dealing with this. I really don't feel like dealing with this. Because sometimes work can have its own set of pressure, and home's supposed to be a retreat, some peace. But if home has chaos, you just out of fight.
And I get it. I do. I understand, man. But you have to create your sanctuary somewhere. And oftentimes in sanctuary,
not at Shirley house. Shirley got a sanctuary, but
what's crazy about that is, as much as we say we don't want to go home and do it, we'll go to somebody else's house and do it.
Oh man, I tell people every bar there's a Shirley. I'm telling you.
That's I just think, man, in marriage, when we are dating, I heard somebody say, if you can talk to somebody for 90 days without sleeping with them, then y'all should probably get married because that's y'all compatible. I'm like, no. But what exactly can we talk about in those moments? Yeah.
If you just hanging out watching TV for 90 days and you ain't having the right conversation.
You show not.
So your 90 days, your clock just starting over. Yeah, exactly. You keep getting that clock starting over. But I can see men fading to the black because I wasted all my fight at work.
I ain't got nothing left.
I got nothing left for the house. But is that fair to the family though? Is it fair to the family?
It's not. That's Bush. I'm gonna call Bush on that
one. Okay.
Because you should never give more at work than you can bring home. Because the house needs just as much energy and everything.
But that's what we've been. That's the measure of a man. You got to leave the blood on the field at the job and stuff, right?
Well, yes, but the true measure of a man is to be able to come and bring that home and to make your house great. It's one thing to have a great car in the driveway, a beautiful house in it. If everybody in it gonna bust hell wide open, it don't really do no good, man.
So the measure of a good house is not what pulls up in the driveway.
No,
it's what the house produces.
I think so, man.
Wow, y'all heard it, right?
Now that's not to say that everything coming out of my house.
but I think, what about the emphasis though? Should more emphasis be put there than on all of the stuff that makes the house look good aesthetically?
Oh, very much so. And that's what's wrong with us now. Is the man is working and working 2 jobs. He's not really visible in the house, and the house is running amok. But everybody got what they want and need, but they don't really have what they need.
Okay, and so to that point, does the narrative of being provider protector, is that narrative keeping men silent because he feels like, okay, it's food in the refrigerator, in the counters and cabinets, everybody got clothes on, all the bills paid, ain't nobody coming up here doing nothing, so I'm good, I'm done, y'all don't need nothing else from me.
Yeah, I definitely can see that you, because you got, I think at some point you got to kind of figure out what is best for the house. Is it because, man, dude, there's nothing like having all of the money in the bank, having all this, and your kids are running amok. The house is running amok. There's no, oh my God, there's no feeling. There's no feeling like,
and they got resources to do it.
And they got resources. Yeah, exactly. You don't know whether you should be taking stuff, pulling stuff back. I can't find my wife. She gone. She with her friends. They this, the boat, what the kids. You know, it's
why do men get reduced to just that? Providers and protectors. Why do men as if we don't?
Because they've allowed themselves to.
So men,
you don't get nothing. You don't get handed nothing. You don't take.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'm not finna give. I'm not finna even.
You make the choice to be.
Oh my God,
that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, you got to take it. You got to bring it on in the house and sit down on the couch with it. Can't nobody give you nothing you don't want to take.
So let's offer some solution. But before I get into that, y'all let me know. Got another question. I'm gonna say y'all let me know again. Hold on a sec. Why men check out? I was wondering, do you feel like the man is present or checked out? What makes you feel disconnected from your family? Okay. But before we get into that, men, let us know real quick, what makes you feel disconnected from your family? And any wives or children there, how do you feel? Or how do you recognize the father, the husband is disconnected? How do you even recognize that he's not there? Or what does it look like? So hop in the comments, let us know. Let us know what that looks like. Right? Help somebody out. Somebody might be going through the comments and they want to know if they crazy. But if you say something and they say, you know what, I'm seeing the same thing. So you might help somebody out. So drop a comment. Let them know.
But they are crazy. Get that part. You are crazy. But now I'm curious because I want to know how many people, when you see it, what does it look like to you and how can you recognize it?
So, man, what do we do? How do we change? How do we get a hold of this? What does a man have to do to reignite that presence in the house?
Well, I think you take a step at a time. I think Rome wasn't built in a day. I think you because this is the thing about most men, I believe. You have noticed that the house is that's crumbling around you. Yeah. So at that point, you get up and you take a step at a time toward different things in the house that immediately needs your assistance in it.
Oh wow, yeah.
You take on the more immediate things, and then you get to the more gradual things. But again, you can only eat an elephant one bite at a time. And I think that's the same.
Okay, yeah. So you start with the small things of reestablishing the order that needs to happen, or so maybe you start with just show up for a game or two, or.
But now when you do it, the foundation is going to be shit because you're trying to change the structure of the house. So everybody's going to be looking and they're not going to believe that you're going to be the man that you need to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think more people need to learn the gift of subtlety. I remember listening to this story. I heard this story once that this pastor, he was hired by this church. And when he got there, the pulpit sat over to one side of the stage. It sat over to one side. And so he goes to the board and the elders. He's like, hey, I think it'd be great if we put this pulpit right in the center. And because it had been there for so long, everybody was like, no, don't be changing stuff. And we like it where it is, yada, yada, yada. And so what he decided to do, he went in before anybody got there on Sunday, and he moved it an inch every Sunday towards the center. And he said after time, he got it to the center and nobody noticed a thing. Nobody said anything. So I think that gift of subtlety and learning how to play the long game, we gotta know how to do that as men.
Not only that, but he had to commit to moving it.
He have to commit and be in there before everybody, before anybody got there, right?
So it's gonna cost you some time.
Inconvenience.
It's gonna cost you.
Oh, okay,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we got to be willing to be inconvenienced for the sake of the big win.
Oh, very much so. Very much so. It's all about inconvenience because if it's inconvenient, eventually it won't be. If you keep doing like you want to do, that thing go straighten out and be like you want it to be. But it's gonna take time. The problem is we go in after one day and we want to set the structure for it in that one day, and we can't do it in one day. It's gonna be something that's gonna take time.
Yeah. And I don't think many men give themselves that time to do that, because like I said, we looking for the quick win, because our method, our mode a lot of times is deal with it quickly, right? That's why men they're very destructive, because we trying to get rid of it quick, whatever it is. But we got to know how to walk through certain things. And any men out there, if you had to walk out of that complacency and walk into a place to where you were more present, let us know what were some steps that you took.
Well, generally, and God normally will put stuff on you. Wow. Because I was at home yesterday and I noticed that my wife, when she drops my son off at school, sometimes she'll just take off and go somewhere. And I'm at home like, girl, where you at? Oh, I went by the store. I went over here. I went over there. And I'm like, no. I need to know where you are. And I called Derek. I said, am I being too controlling? I'm saying, no, that's my protective nature that says, hey, listen, I can't cover you if I don't know where you are. I can't cover you if I got to guess. Because you told me you was taking him to school and I'm looking for you to come right back. I'm working.
So what about the woman that like, why I gotta be checking in, and why you gotta be
married?
Oh,
you don't want to be married? Oh, you said in front of God and everybody you want to be married. When I put that ring on your finger, you said you want to be married. Now why you don't want to be married now? You telling me gives me peace of mind that I can go on do my job knowing that you okay, rather than worrying about where you are. You can't give me. Yeah. That's all I'm asking for. Yeah. I don't want to bail on you or nothing. I just want you to text and say, hey, I'm over here. You can run to your heart's content.
Yeah. Because here's the thing that people got to understand. Love looks like control to the person who don't really want to be there. You think you know better. You think you got some. Love gonna look like control. It's not. It's not. People are going to ask where you at because they want to know. Yeah, in case something happened, I don't want to be thinking you one place and here you are somewhere else. I want to know how to respond. And so if you always thinking that, especially men, when men want to know what's going on, when men start asking questions and stuff like that it's about control. It's not about control. And especially when men start instructing. When men instruct out of love. When a man said, hey, this needs to happen this way. We need to do this. We need to do that. That's love. That's part of our protection. That's part of our protection. So you just try to protect her by saying, hey, you're going to go somewhere else. Just shoot me a text. Say, hey, I'm going here, going there, going to do a few things.
Oh, I was going to love her when she got back home. I put my hand around her neck. And it's funny because I know we've had the conversation before. She's like, well, I don't know. I didn't see nothing wrong.
Now, this is what I told him. I said, if that's not her thing, it just doesn't register with her. Because his thing is he goes somewhere, he's seeing that, hey, I'm gonna run over here, hey, I'm gonna run over there. But you expecting the same thing from her. Yeah. But that's really your thing.
Yeah, but most of the time she got tags on everything.
Hold on. Tag? What kind of tag, Judy?
Well, most of the time she know everybody else by their phones.
The Life 360. Yeah. Oh, so she locked. So she already know.
She already know.
She clocking everybody.
She clock everybody. So I'm like, but I don't want to do that. I want you to tell me. I don't want to have to look on.
Because I was just going to say, why don't you get the Life 360?
Nope, I don't want that.
Why you dig your heels in the ground on Life 360?
Because I want you to tell. I just want you to be considered. Okay, how about this?
Oh, okay.
All right. So I asked her, this the conversation. I say, so the whole time you were out, the hour and a half you was gone, I say, you didn't once think about me? She said, no. I say, well, see, that's the difference between me and you.
Oh.
Because if I'm out.
You didn't answer that question right.
Because if I'm out, I'm thinking about you.
Okay.
See, that's the difference.
You're always on my mind.
That's the difference of a guy that's running the house. I have to consider you in everything that I do. Because I can't, I look crazy coming to you, ask you to do something that I'm not doing or willing to do. I need to know where everybody else, because I need to make sure that the house is covered. Yeah. And you can't be in Fort Worth if I think you in DeSoto.
So let me get this right. Although Life 360 will solve the problem of knowing where everybody is, what's the word I'm looking for? The inconsideration.
That's all I'm asking.
Of not telling.
I want some consideration.
You want some consideration.
And I want it because I don't want no more consideration than you want from the kids. You know where the kids are. But you want to, but she's not my child. She's not my child. But she asked me to spank her the other day.
TMI.
You had to know I was gonna say something. To lead her,
but I'm saying, her checking it doesn't have the consideration factor. Her checking is, I got my eye on you. I'm locked into your Life 360. I can watch you.
You know, I get
it's
that.
A monitor is the word. I can monitor you.
Yes, and I get it. But I would just like for her to be considerate of me, to let me know where she's at. And it's funny because I believe it's in the way that you say it.
Okay.
At least that's what they say.
Yeah, how you say it. It ain't what you say, it's how you say it.
Okay, so please.
Okay.
Can you let me know where you are? Can you at least think of me in those moments to where you've been out 2-3 hours and I don't know where you are? Can you at least consider me? Because I can't do it. But if I'm gone that long, you're gonna blow my phone up. If I just go get in the car and just drive off, hey, where you going? Where you at?
Oh yeah.
Because
somebody did a video about that. How when men get up in the house.
Oh my God.
Either the wife or the kids, they ask you where you going, or they getting up and follow you.
Or they gonna try to get in the car with
you. Where you going? Where you going? So yeah. But no, it's a problem that I think happens more frequently than people really realize. And we give people credit just because they're in the home. Because you have people that'll say, I didn't grow up with my father in the house. So I want to make sure I'm in the house with my kids. But being in the house physically is one thing. Yeah. But being there, being present emotionally and everything, that's a whole nother ball game. But do we really understand how to do that? So these are things that we need to find out as men.
Yeah, I think that's a really big deal because the house needs you. Yeah, the community needs you. Yeah, we need you, man. And it's funny because we often say, "Well, what happened to the community?" Well, the man not in it. The community being ran by women. The PTA is being ran by women. When you see the woman at the football practice taking her kid away from the game because dad is not there because she was supposed to be there with him anyway. Yeah.
You say she ain't supposed to be there.
She's supposed to be there. I don't know. Yeah. She's not supposed to be there. Dad's supposed to be there.
Yeah, especially if you're worried about him getting hit and all that type of stuff. Yeah. It's probably not the place for you.
So if she come out there, she gonna have to worry about getting hit. all coaches, all the men, all those men, that ain't no place. That's not a place that's conducive for women. Tell me I'm lying. Just tell me I'm lying.
I know, man. Listen, and people have said it, and you got to understand, we're not just talking. Whenever men are interacting with each other, there's always a threat of violence. There's always a threat of violence because we go there. As much as y'all like, oh, that's barbaric. Yeah. But when words not getting it done, we're gonna kick up some dust and things will get settled one way or another. But this has been good, man. It's been good. So what do we want to leave the people with? What you got?
All right. So my final thought for this evening is I don't believe there's nothing that comes across the man's desk that he hadn't previously thought about. Whatever you're not doing, oftentimes it'll come, you'll think about it. I need to do more of this, I need to do more of that. And we don't want to leave here with regrets. And one of the regrets that we don't want to leave here is with, man, I let the house be run amok. I mean, take back control one day at a time, one step at a time, one decision at a time. Take your house back. Because ultimately, man, we need you in the house. And take your belt off and whoop anybody who got something to say about it. Anybody, mama, cousin, TT, wee, all them, whoop them. That's my final thought.
And counter to John's point, it's worth the fight. It's worth the fight. When you look at what's at stake, it's worth the fight. When you understand that the safety of your whole house is on the line, it's worth the fight. When you understand the future of your posterity is on the line, it's worth the fight. The problem is, how do we fight? And I think that's where we need to gain some insight and some intelligence on how we fight. Everything doesn't have to be, rah, let's do it that way. We have a mind. We are great thinkers as well. We have to use it. So let's be strategic in how we approach, reestablishing our presence in our families, because the family needs it. The family, whether they admit it or not, the family needs it. So let's get back in there. That's my final thought.
Hey, man, you did that.
All right.
You did it. You did it. It was almost better than mine. Almost.
Listen, we appreciate y'all sticking with us tonight. And don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Send it out to your friends. Send it out to anybody you feel needs to hear this, or they want to be a part of the conversation.
And engage us. Would y'all talk to us in those comments?
Yeah.
Don't you be calling me talking about how great the show was. We know it's great. And don't try to sit home because we don't want you hurting yourself. But we want y'all to engage us. Be engaging. Talk back to us. Get in those comments. We need y'all there.
But hey, we appreciate y'all. We're going to catch y'all next time on Man Talk Mondays. We'll see you. Peace out.